Hi my friends, so today I will show you that also other mothers have beautiful daughters, and so this is a Porsche GT3 and it's one of the fastest production cars, not in top speed and acceleration, but on the racetrack. And we will do a similar test today like we have done with the Porsche Taycan. Yeah? So this is a private owned car, so it's not from any kind of car dealership, and weather is beautiful, and I will post a video later. So before I'm going on the highway, I will explain you guys a little bit the car. So it's a 911 GT3 RS, as you can see. So what is special in that car? So this has an automatic transmission. And the fuel, usually the 911 have a fuel of 66 liters, which translates in about 18 or 19 gallons. And this one has a 90-liter fuel reservoir, fuel tank. This is translated in 25 or 27 gallons, and so it's much more. So this car has a much higher range. So what I will try later is I will drive the car at 130 kilometers per hour, and I will see how efficient the car is. And on the way back, I will do the 0 to 300, 0 to 100, 0 to 200, 0 to 300. Yeah, and then we can compare a little bit the numbers to the Taycan. So the new price of this car is of course higher. It's around about 200,000, and including this has kind of a Weissach package. So as you can see here, so this has no rear seats. Yeah, and the doors, not usual door openers. So it's just this here. So I just activated the speed control. I set it to 134 kilometers, which is about 80 miles, a little bit more. And I will cruise with that speed. And I put it this to 0. Also the odometer and the consumption, average consumption, I set to 0. And so I will have a construction ground a little bit later. So therefore I speed it a little bit up, so it's not 130, it's a little bit more, to have an average speed at the end of 130. So I just achieved my goal, 20 kilometers, 12-13 miles in one direction, and the average consumption is 11.5. And I stop this test now and do the acceleration test, because it doesn't make sense with that car to drive more to make the average. So this is the average you can get, 11.5. And by the way, it's very noisy as well. You're just driving 85 kilometers per hour, so pretty difference to the Taycan. So as you guys have seen, the car is very noisy when you accelerate to full speed, and it's a beautiful car, but as well it's a dangerous car. So we are now outside of Munich, and there is a construction site. I have formally explained where I had to reduce the speed at the 130 average test, and maybe half a year ago there have been 2 severe accidents here. So one was with exactly the same car. It was a guy driving this highway and coming from the other direction, and at that time there was no speed limit here and no construction site, and the guy came from the other direction. So it is a two-lane highway, and he was doing around 210, 220 kilometers. and he lost control here in the curve. So you see that curve, you know, it's not an extreme curve. You can drive this car at that speed, but I think he used the brake and suddenly he lost the control over the car. And finally, the car ended there in the field. Yeah, you see that field over there. So there you had been seen a completely destroyed 911 GT3 RS. And one person died in another car, and this guy had severe injuries, but he didn't die, and his co-driver also survived. And a couple of weeks ago, maybe 3 months, there was an Audi, you know, the sports car from Audi. Chiara, weißt du, wie der Sportwagen von Audi heißt? I just tried to find out the name, but I don't know. She doesn't know. So you see, you know, the two-seater sports car, and had also a dangerous accident. And what was very, very incredible, so one of the two guys, yeah, it was a Spider, an R8 Spider, and one of the guys was fully injected with his seat out of the car and ended up somewhere here in the forest, yeah. And the other one remained in the car, and he was dead somewhere here in the forest, yeah. But the car who was ejected with his seat, he survived this accident. It's unbelievable. And on this highway, quite a lot of accidents happen, and even mortal accidents. So everybody is asking himself why they do not make a speed limit here, yeah, because, you know, many accidents happen. So but it's still open, you can still speed up, and it's a nice highway, and if you know how to drive, it's no problem. But some guys really don't take attention and try maybe make first time a high-speed attempt, and then they end up here in the forest. So we will try to make the speed test again, acceleration test, because Autobahn was quite picked up with cars. Maybe it's better now. It's a very nervous car. It's going from the left side to the right side, so you very much have to get the car under control. So anyway, I forgot to mention in my GT, my Nissan GT-R, the gear shift made this noise always when it goes from one gear to the next gear. So this kind of metallic sound. The GT3 RS has the same. So each time it changes the gear, it makes some sound that you think it brakes, but it's just normal. I think it's very similar to the Nissan GT-R.